Maybe I'm crazy, but there are a few NFL teams out there who are not trying to win.
You sneak this in Jay Cutler's Dolphins right now?
Jay Cutler's Dolphins. Oh my gosh. Welcome to the Maybe I'm Crazy podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. That's Brandon Newman. Make some sounds.
Hey, how you doing?
You know what? It's not. That's on me. I told you to make sounds, and that's
Yes,
what you did.
exactly.
All right. I didn't say words this
I follow
time.
instructions very well.
Yeah. We have a lot to get to today. The loser power rankings. Wildcat is back in a big way, unless you're the Dolphins, in which case you should never, ever do that again. LaVar Ball is homeschooling his son now. We'll talk about that. The NBA is back, so there's a really fun petty report. Lots of stuff for in and out. But as I mentioned, there are some teams out there, they're conning us. They're pretending like they're trying to win, but they're really not. What I'm talking about is these coaches who don't start their rookie quarterbacks that they draft high. So this is where I came to this conclusion. Because I really like the Rams this year. I feel like they're like the Cowboys of last year, like fun, hot, young team.
For sure.
I may be falling victim to the Hollywood. You know, I am in Los Angeles. We are here in Los Angeles.
There's a synergy here.
There's a connection between the Rams and Los Angeles. So maybe I'm being influenced by that. Although I don't go to games or anything, so it really doesn't make any sense. But I do like the Rams this year. I like Jared Goff. I like Sean McVay. I'm here for the young dude. He's 31 now, but he was hired when he's 30. I'm 30, so I'm rooting for the young guy, for the millennial. And they're doing well. They're 3-1. I feel like they're a team on the rise. Now, in fairness, they were 3-1 They started 3-1 last year.
Really?
But that was under Jeff Fisher.
Right.
Which is just blah.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna jump to any conclusions, but I do like them. I feel like they're on the rise. Got Aaron Donald. I really like that Cooper Kupp kid. Keep it up, Cooper. It's a great football name, Cooper.
There's a lot of good football names on that team.
Yes. And I like Jared Goff, and I wish that they had started Jared Goff last year, and I didn't understand why, other than the fact that it's Jeff Fisher and that he's just not into young quarterbacks or whatever the hell he was doing. But you're seeing this around the league, and while the Rams are a good example of what happens when you get somebody in there who's going to back up the young quarterback, they have more points than any team in the NFL. They've got great wins. The win over the Cowboys was really the one that sold me, because the 49ers Colts, man. And they lost to the Redskins, who are a good team.
Right.
So I do feel like they're on the rise, but I think that's also because they built a system around Jared Goff and they're supporting him. And that whole notion of drafting a quarterback really high when you don't have a good quarterback and then not starting him has always driven me completely crazy. And you're seeing it so much in the league right now. Jared Goff is a good example of that.
Yep.
And Deshaun Watson is a good example of that. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, if you're going to go, Trubisky has taken over the starting job for the Bears.
Congratulations, finally.
From Mike Glennon. So let me just take these, let's take them in order, all right? Jared Goff, obviously, we're not going to go insane. Like I said, they started 3-1 last year, and Jared Goff did not do well last year. But he also didn't start. And to me, the only way you get better at doing something is actually doing it. Our business is a good example of that. Anytime someone who's like young, who's in college or in high school is like, hey, how do I get in the media business? I tell them all the same thing. Go get an internship. It's the only way you're going to learn.
Yeah.
You can't read a book and learn how to use a camera. You have to actually be taught and use your hands and figure it out. You have to learn how to edit. You have to learn the entire business. And the only way you're going to do that is actually being in that business setting. Lawyers, doctors, everybody who does any type of trade, you have to learn on the job. You don't learn how to play football by not playing football. I know I'm not like a genius or anything, but I feel like that's how you learn how to play football. Like, yes. I don't know how to play football. I watch a lot of football. That doesn't mean I know how to play football.
Right.
So I don't understand why, if you're an organization, you're going to use that high pick on a quarterback and then not have him play football.
Yeah, but sometimes, and let's take the Rams last year. Case Keenum could have been on the rise.
No.
He could have been on the rise. Case Keenum is doing a very fine job with the Vikings right now.
Oh, he's doing a fine job.
Yes.
Oh, okay. You feel good about the Vikings? Feel good about the Vikings this year?
No, but I've never felt good about the Vikings.
Which is exactly my point. Okay? That's exactly my point. No, Case Keenum is not on the rise. That is No. That is exactly my point. All right. So you've got Jared Goff. All right. You're starting Jared Goff now. You've got a new young coach, a good offensive mind, and Sean McVay. And what are you doing? You're a team on the rise. You look fun. Todd Gurley's back at it. Everyone's excited about the Rams. Yay, Los Angeles. And if they really continue winning, they will become a national team that earns respect because it's in Los Angeles. And whether you think football is going to last in Los Angeles or not, which one of the teams,
yeah,
one of the teams
for sure will be.
It's the one we're talking about right now.
Yes.
But if they keep winning, they're going to get a bigger national following because it's Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
It is just what it is. Like, if we're going to go to the games or not is something else. That's going to take a little time because,
there's a lot of things to do.
There's a lot of stuff to do out here.
There's a lot of stuff to do.
The sunshine, you got the palm trees.
Sunday during the day? In LA?
I know.
Y'all come out and find out.
Like couch life, just open the door, nice balcony breeze.
I'm waking up at 7 a.m. just to get the day started on the weekend.
I don't know about all that. But as far as watching them and being excited about them, I'm in on that because I like the direction that they're going.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's move on. All right, that's one example. Maybe you don't like it. Okay, Deshaun Watson.
Okay.
I would not trust Bill O'Brien with my pet rock for what he pulled at the beginning of this season. You can't. How can you trust someone like that? You can't. He's untrustworthy. You have Deshaun Watson who just put up 57 points. Now, I'm not saying that he's not going to have a sophomore slump or something like that, but this is obviously a product of him playing, okay?
For sure.
Tom Savage, you felt this is what you felt you needed to put out there the first week for half a game?
I believe in the locker room. So when Bill O'Brien said Tom Savage was going to be the starter because the locker room's getting behind, DeAndre Hopkins came out and said Tom Savage is the guy. Well, I'm not in the locker room. I have to trust it. And obviously, we all knew Deshaun Watson was going to get his time. Did we know it was going to come in the second half?
When was he going to get his time? In the two practices that they have a week now?
He was eventually going to get his time.
Madden?
We knew Tom Savage wasn't going to Alex Smith his way into a starting position.
Okay, so this is my point. What is the point? This is what I'm saying. This goes back to the beginning.
Yeah.
These teams aren't really trying to win. These coaches are trying to keep their jobs. And look, I get it, but you don't become great by approaching things like that. You just don't. You have to take risks. That's the way it is. So if you're going to, and to me, it's not even a risk. You spent that draft pick on that quarterback. Let him go play. And there's always an excuse of, oh, well, if he goes out there and he's terrible, then we'll take him out. But then that's going to ruin his confidence. No, that's how life works. If you go do something and you're not good at it, then you get replaced. That's how the entire world works. Unless, you're privileged, in which case you're,
right, yeah, it's all another story.
But for the rest of us,
yes.
If you go take a job and you're terrible at it, you will get replaced. If you're bringing out down an entire organization. So what is the risk really? What are you risking? Like, had he started Deshaun Watson instead of Tom Savage for a half, which is so edgy. Yes. What is it that you saw in Tom Savage you didn't see last year that you were afraid to start Deshaun Watson? And now he's going to get credit like, oh, yeah, Deshaun Watson, my guy. No, we didn't forget. We did not forget. The North remembers, bro. You started Tom Savage, all right? I'm not going to forget that you did that because I want to know why. Man. What is the point? What was the loss? Like Mitch Trubisky, all right? He has won over the starting job in a shocking fashion from Mike Glennon. What happened there? I'll tell you what happened there. They signed Mike Glennon, who was so good that he got the Buccaneers Jameis Winston, all right? So he's this world beater, right, Mike Glennon. Mm-hmm. He shows up in Chicago. They give him $1 billion. How much did they give him? 18.5. So $1 billion, $18 million, which for Mike Glennon is $1 billion. Might as well
a little shy of $1 billion.
And then they draft Mitch Trubisky, and everyone's confused. What are you guys doing? What they're doing is Mike Glennon is not good. So they want another quarterback because, of course, you'd be crazy not to take another quarterback. Now, whether you like Mitch Trubisky or Deshaun Kaiser or Deshaun Watson, where you took him can be debated. But you took him. Why? Because Mike Glennon is not good. Remember what I said about the Buccaneers a few seconds ago?
Yes.
Jameis Winston?
I remember.
Who got them Jameis Winston? Mike Glennon. You're welcome. Okay? You're welcome, Tampa Bay.
Okay.
That's the best thing he's done in the NFL is get the Buccaneers Jameis Winston. So I don't want to hear this about how we're just, we're letting him develop and he's got to watch and he's got to learn the game. No, you learn the game by playing. Mitch Trubisky's going to go in there. And I'm not saying Mitch Trubisky's going to be good, but Mike Glennon is not good. We know this. We already knew that. I didn't have to tell them that. The Buccaneers, they could have been like, hey, Bucks, Mike Glennon good? No, definitely not good. Definitely not good.
Okay, well, let me say this. Mitch Trubisky and Mike Glennon could also be victims of what Jared Goff was victim of last season. Bad coach, bad organization. If it's not held at the top, like Mitch Trubisky's going to go in there and be fine, be a good starting quarterback, and the Bears are still going to be a dumb franchise who would give $18 million to a quarterback they know that they're not going to play.
No, the reason that they played him is because they gave him $18 million. Don't let them fool you. That's the reason why he started. They needed to justify that. That's a pride move. Yes. Okay? That's all that is. And I don't want to hear that. All right? Maybe Mr. Trubisky is terrible. Who knows? But you drafted him at number 2 for a reason. Let him go play. And if he's terrible, you put the other terrible quarterback you got in.
Okay.
What are you losing here? This is why I'm saying they're not actually trying to win. Sometimes you have to take chances. All right? And they give the same mantra every time. Oh, well, we don't want to ruin his confidence. And, he doesn't know the offense yet. How's he going to learn it? He's just going to sit there. He's going to read Ben McAdoo's 15-page play sheet. Like, how do you learn how to play football? Go play.
You have to do the thing. You got to go do the thing.
You have to go do the thing. Yeah. And then, of course, the example is going to come up of Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. And it's Brett Favre. He's a Hall of Famer. So if you're going to have to sit behind someone, I'm okay with you sitting behind Brett Favre. I'm not okay with you sitting behind Mike Glennon. I'm not okay with you sitting behind Case Keenum. I'm not okay with you sitting behind Tom Savage.
Oh, okay. We have to take a step back, realize that Deshaun Watson may be a once in a 5-year type of talent, like, say, Cam Newton in the 2011 draft class, right? Sure. A bunch of quarterbacks came out of that class: Blaine Gabbert, Christian Ponder, Jake Locker, who's retired now, Andy Dalton, Colin Kaepernick. Now, I think Trubisky might be in the Andy Dalton camp. Good quarterback, bad organization, bad head coach, and he'll do fine. And he'll wear a wedding ring whenever he gets married. Good luck to Mr. Trubisky and his significant other.
Mitch Trubisky will never win a Super Bowl, and that's on him.
But Deshaun Watson is the Cam Newton of that class, the raw talent that you have to go out there and figure it out himself, and he'll end up winning MVP one year.
We didn't know that through training camp. We didn't know that. We figured that out halfway through the first game of the season. My point is, you're talking all this stuff about confidence. Mm-hmm. Name him the quarterback. Let him make it his team. You mentioned it, DeAndre Hopkins, not having the locker room yet. How's he going to have the locker room when you haven't announced him as the quarterback?
Yeah,
you gave the starting job to Tom Savage. I just don't want to hear about it. If you're going to sit behind someone and it's Brett Favre, fine. Okay. That's what it is. And this is what's happening in Kansas City. Mm-hmm. All right? Alex Smith, not my favorite quarterback of all time, but he's competent. They drafted Patrick Mahomes. All of a sudden, he's Tom Brady. All right?
He's Alex Smith.
Okay, fine. But Alex Smith is actually good.
I got you.
Now, is Patrick Mahomes going to learn something from Alex Smith? Who knows? But that's a situation where I'm comfortable in Alex Smith obviously starting, and we all knew he was still going to start, right?
Right. Yeah.
That is not an example because Alex Smith is competent, right? Case Keenum? Tom Savage? Mike Glennon? I'm just saying, take some risks. I don't want to hear about how you're comfortable with this guy and he's a veteran and he knows the system. No, you're just trying to not lose your job, which I respect, but don't pitch me with the we're trying to win thing. You're not. You're trying to stay afloat. So as a fan, I'm not a fan of any of these teams, but to me, commit to it. That's what's happening with Jared Goff. I commend Sean McVay for doing that. It's still a risk. It's not like he's in his sophomore year. It's not like it's any guarantee that he's going to be great.
It can go south at any point.
Any point.
Yeah.
Went south last year.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like that. I'm feeling optimistic for them.
Yeah.
This week will be a good test for them because they have Seattle, who finally figured out how to play offense. So they put up some points last week, finally. So that'll be a good test for them. But overall, stop pitching me with the whole we're going to start the veteran and he knows the system and we don't want to ruin the guy's confidence and blah, blah, blah. Whatever. All right. And I remember, Bill O'Brien, you started Tom Savage. Okay. I did not forget. I'm remembering, Bears. I mean, I don't know how Mitch Trubisky's going to be. Maybe he'll throw 6 picks in one game. But
listen, Jared Goff, Deshaun Watson, don't make Joy a liar. Get out there, get your money, throw your touchdowns.
Don't make me a liar,
yes.
Please don't make me a liar. I'm backing all of you young quarterbacks up and calling out your crazy coaches for not starting you. But honestly, that's how I feel an organization should approach it. If you draft a young guy, just get him out there. That's how you learn how to play football. I mean, I don't know how to play football. I'm pretty sure I'd be a bad football player. I've watched a lot of football.
You'd be better if you got out there and played, though.
I would improve slightly at my non-football playing skills if I actually tried.
Exactly.
So that's what I think that they should do. Just as a recap from last week before we move on to in and out, in or out. Yeah, so not as many people kneeled for the anthem, which is expected because, of course, most people were just reacting to what Donald Trump said. But I just want to say Marshawn Lynch is an American treasure. And we must protect him.
Yes.
We must keep him safe. He is one of a kind, and I just adore the fact that he is back in the NFL. He is so great. He
You're
showed up to the
referring-
game pregame with an Oakland-based company's shirt that said "Everybody versus Trump,"
Yes.
which I co-sign.
Yes. But I would say when you say everyone protect him, I think the assistant coaches were protecting him on the sidelines. You saw them like building a wall.
Yeah.
The north wall, like blocking Marshawn Lynch sitting on the bench, which was just so awkward.
The wall in the north.
Yes.
Yeah. So Marshawn's been sitting for the anthem,
Right.
And that's his thing. I don't understand why you would. The coaches all stood around him to try and hide him, and of course, it's like, guys, we got cameras everywhere.
Yes.
We have cameras literally on every inch of this space. We are, of course, still going to see that Marshawn is sitting there.
Right.
So you're just bringing more attention to the fact that Marshawn is sitting.
When I saw it, I thought he was peeing because I guess what you do on the sideline as
Yeah.
players on the sideline, you
Well,
huddle
no, they
around
usually
someone's
hold
peeing.
up the towels, right?
Yeah, that's in the NFL. But Oakland Raiders. That's.
I mean, the Oakland Raiders have come up a little bit.
Yeah, I
They got
don't know if
towels
they have the
now.
facilities,
They got
you know.
towels.
Okay, yeah.
I feel like they got towels.
They got towels.
Anyway, I love you, Marshawn, and that reaction of not everyone not kneeling again, and now like half the teams are doing the unity
You said it.
thing, and yeah, well, I mean, because it wasn't actually about the protest; it was about getting angry that they were called sons of bitches by Donald Trump, which like I'm fine to reacting to that. Like, you have to do something if someone calls you a son of a bitch. I mean, you're not calling me a son of a bitch because it wouldn't make any sense. But
Right.
more importantly, I understand them standing up for themselves, but again, there was a few pockets of people, Kenny Stills and a couple of Dolphins. There were quite a few Jaguar players, I think, that still kneeled.
Michael Bennett, sit down.
Yeah. So there was still the usual ones, the guys that had been protesting anyway,
Right.
stuck with it. But we'll see what happens over the next couple weeks. And speaking of the Raiders, they were without a quarterback for a couple weeks.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt.
Well, I'm just saying, there's an available quarterback
Oh,
who's pretty good.
who's pretty good. Now I'm confused.
Shout out Curb. Great episode this week. Pretty good.
So
he did go to a
you're
Super
referring
Bowl
to-
and an NFC championship game.
Yeah, that was.
back-to-back years.
I just want to say that was a long time ago. I hope Colin Kaepernick, since we're going to say the elephant in the room, Colin Kaepernick, I hope he's still good at football. I really do. I want him to get back at it.
Oakland would be a team that could back that up.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think the locker room would accept him, but who knows what they're going to do there. I just think that would be a good fit because they are a team that actually has a chance of winning this year. And unfortunately, Derek Carr is injured. His back is injured with spasms, so he's going to be out anywhere 2 to 6 weeks. So it seems like that would be a good move, but in all honesty, I don't think that he's going to get signed this year. I think it's been too crazy of a year so far. But
I was pretty optimistic at the beginning of the season, and now that we're getting into it,
I was optimistic during training camp that if there
Yeah.
was a big injury that would happen, and then there was a big injury, and it happened to be Ryan Tannehill, and that
Yeah.
we all know what happened there.
Shout out Jay Cutler.
No shouts out for Jay Cutler. All right, it's time for some headlines. We call this in or out. Brandon, this is your time to shine. Let's go. What am I in or out on this week?
Oh, I thought we were singing.
In or out? Am
In
I in or
or
out?
out? Joy.
Yes.
Everyone's favorite sports dad is back in the news. LaVar Ball is taking out LaMelo Ball Jr. at Chino Hills, taking him away for basketball and high school as a whole after he's been publicly criticizing the administration, the head basketball coach. Joy, are you in or out on LaMelo joining Big Baller University high school?
Big Ball University High School. So he's going to homeschool LaMelo.
Yes, he'd be homeschooled.
Yes, which is the official term. Is that
Homeschool.
Yeah, homeschool. So LaVar's gonna homeschool LaMelo because he's mad at the coach because he said he's not getting 50 shots a game.
Yes.
Which seems reasonable actually. And I mean, we know how LaVar is. Like LaVar doesn't like being told what to do, and he feels like he has some sort of ownership over Chino Hills because of his sons. I like LaVar Ball overall. I get what he's doing. I also get why people are put off by him as well, but I think he's an entertainer and he understands saying things and doing outlandish things is going to get in the headlines, obviously, and it's worked. So I was homeschooled. Little known fact.
What? When?
I was homeschooled until my junior year of high school.
You were at homeschool until your junior year of high school?
Correct.
What the?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. I know.
I got to rework all my homeschool people.
I know. It's so weird because I'm
stereotypes.
so normal.
Yes.
Yeah, no, me and my younger brother and
crazy.
sister were homeschooled. And then, we had a family separation, otherwise known as a divorce. And
Heard
then
of
we
those.
went to high school, my junior and senior year. But I played sports at my local school.
High school, yeah.
Well, in middle school, too. I played at, like, whatever the middle school was in our school district.
Right.
I played basketball and track and soccer and volleyball. So I kind of was already a part of the school. Like, I already knew a bunch of kids there. So it wasn't, like, a cold entry into the school. But, yeah, I was homeschooled. And Jason was actually homeschooled his junior and senior year. So Jason did what LaMelo is doing for completely different reasons.
Right, yeah,
but he was, so he's actually the only homeschooler that ever, like, went to the NFL.
But it would
knowledge.
be cool if LaMelo was still going to Chinos and playing basketball. He's not. He's leaving school because of basketball.
Yeah, the only thing that makes me so I'm in on the homeschooling.
Right.
I'm out on the reasoning, obviously. So this is just gonna be one of those weird ones where I'm just not very clear, I guess. But I just don't know where he's gonna get the competition.
Right.
So because he's gonna play AAU, that's not the same level of competition as high school, and basketball seems to work as long as I still remember. So he needs that. So it makes me wonder how his development is going to continue being at home. I mean, LaVar seems to have been right about everything so far, so we'll see. But
it's just weird that LaVar said he's going to get him competition by taking him to the hood and saying who wants to play LaMelo.
Okay,
You heard that sound?
I mean, that's fine. That's fine. You're going to play basketball there, but you're not going to play organized basketball. You're not going to have plays. You're not going to play with the same people. You're not going to develop relationships, and you need all of that when you play for a team because it's a team sport. So are you going to get competition? You're going to be able to hone your skills? Sure, but you're not going to be able to actually play on a basketball team in that way. So again, it's more of a development thing for me than me being out on him homeschooling him. I'm sure he's still going to play plenty of basketball, but we'll see.
Shouts out to homeschool. Joy Taylor was homeschooled. That's amazing. That's great news.
Shout out to homeschool kids.
Okay, moving on. After watching the Seahawks running back Chris Carson get carted off the field Sunday night, Sherman said that fantasy football.
Richard Sherman.
Who Sherman?
Richard Sherman.
Sherman?
Sherman.
Richard Sherman.
Richard Sherman.
Richard Sherman says that fantasy football is making, and things like that, quote unquote, gambling, are making fans, see players less as people, more as points, right? So, are you in or out on NFL players clapping back at their fantasy football Twitter trolls?
I like Richard Sherman a lot. But gambling is a pretty big part of professional sports, particularly football. Right. So this is not a new thing that people have seen NFL players as legitimately points and not as players. It's just, I mean, it's not right, obviously, but that is a big part of why a lot of people watch the NFL.
Right. This ain't new.
No. And as far as fantasy football, that's not new either. It's just the uptick of people who have social media. So I am in on what he is saying because I get it, but like I'm out on him being in his mentions, which is obviously where this is happening. So what he's saying is right. Like, if you're the person out there who is tweeting to a professional athlete that you're pissed because you lost your fantasy football game, you need to go home. You need to take a nap, take some sleepy time. All right, maybe have some tea, then go to sleep on the floor, to go all the way down, and just come back up and just reset everything you're doing in your life because you're doing it wrong. You're doing life wrong. Okay, if you're taking the time out of your day to tweet a professional athlete to complain about your fantasy football team, you are living life wrong. You need more in your life.
Yes,
this is my advice to you. You need more things. You need another hobby, like pottery. It'll be fun. You know, they sell those like adult coloring books now.
Yeah,
there's other stuff you can do besides bother someone about their life and their physical body that is injured as their livelihood. So that being said, obviously, they need to stay out of their mentions because this is going to happen. We know Twitter is a sunken place. We've been over this. And we all do this. We all get involved with people on social media that we should not get involved in. So I'm not being a hypocrite here. I know I do it too. But it's not going to stop. You're not going to save the internet. What's our motto?
Kevin Durant
you
can't
cannot
save the internet.
Oh. Okay, but neither can Richard Sherman. You're not saving the internet. So just stay out of your mentions. People are always going to do this because people are terrible. But... yeah, I mean...
I'm still looking for somebody to be Captain Save the Internet.
There is no Captain Save the Internet. They don't exist.
Out there.
The internet literally exists for dereliction.
Who?
It exists for terrible things.
Oh, okay. Who's Daryl, though?
I need Jesus.
Okay. Moving on. Okay, so last week was the battle for the AFC North, the only two teams that people actually care about.
Battle for the AFC North.
Yes.
Yes, because I told you that the Bengals were terrible. Remember when I said that?
Yes. Shouts out to Bengals, but those aren't teams we care about.
No.
Ravens and the Steelers.
Also, no one cares about the Ravens either. I know you keep beating that drum, but
a lot of people all in on the Ravens. No. Joe Flacco, just go ahead, turn playoff Joe Flacco on.
Elite.
That'll be great for everyone if you could do that right now. Anyways, Ben Roethlisberger didn't hit a wide open Antonio Brown, which led Antonio Brown to go to the sideline, flip over some Gatorade coolers, yell at some coach, slap Todd Haley's hand down. Joy, are you in or out on wide receivers like Antonio Brown showing a very strong emotion on the sidelines?
I'm so conflicted.
You're conflicted?
I am, because I really do love, I keep saying I love diva wide receivers, but then I keep criticizing all the things about them that make them divas. So maybe I don't actually love diva wide receivers. I can't figure it out. I still think I do, but Antonio Brown is an egomaniac. And I love Antonio, all right?
Yes.
AB is the man. He's awesome. He's got mad style.
Shout out the Mac.
He's obviously amazing at what he does. And he plays for the Steelers. Obviously, I'm from Pittsburgh. But you can't throw the stupid Gatorade bucket. And when it comes to Antonio Brown, like, he's already got a couple, he's got a couple things he's been involved in. Yeah. It's like, maybe just calm down, and especially because it's all about you.
Right.
Like, you won the game.
Right.
So there's no need.
It was in the first quarter.
Right. There's no need for you to act this way.
Right.
If it was at the end of the game and you lost in terrible fashion and you were open the whole time or something, okay, maybe. But he's a little bit self-centered when it comes to this type of stuff. And to me, like, that's the difference between being a championship team and not. And you need you need composure. You need him to be like the leader. And I mean, Ben obviously said it was fine, and he dismissed it. But
laugh it off.
Well, Ben's great at that coach speak now, but
he's learned over time.
Yeah, but I mean, you got Antonio Facebook Live from the locker room. You can't do that. It's just you can't do it.
He's got a lot of bad looks. I think the worst culprit here is the training staff. You got to fill those Gatorade coolers up all the way. Like, why is that empty?
That was weird. Like, why?
He should not have been able to throw that so easily.
Dude's just thirsty.
Why
is that empty?
Why is that an empty
he's the
cooler?
strongest dude on earth if he can flip a Gatorade cooler with one hand that's full.
You're not impressing anyone.
Did you ever have to carry the Gatorade coolers?
Of course, in high school, that's all we did. You would grab another. It was the lineman's job, and you would take one fat guy.
Even as a senior?
Side. Huh?
Even as a senior?
I mean, I was a captain since my sophomore year in high school. It's a very, very accomplished high school.
Well, it seems like you got punked if you still had to carry the Gatorade.
Yeah, it was small
bucket.
School. Small school. We didn't have a lot of resources.
But you had other players.
Yeah, it was just,
The freshmen carry that.
Yeah, we got to make sure the water
gets over there. The freshmen carry the equipment and the Gatorade bucket.
We got to make sure it gets over there. You got to trust that.
I don't know. I disagree with that. I think you got punked.
I say a diva wide receiver, quote unquote wide receiver that we both love and we love his antics still. Travis Kelce. I know he's a tight end.
He's not a wide receiver.
I know he's a tight end, but he is as close as a diva wide receiver as we're going to get.
I know. The Chiefs. Chiefs last night. You learned what a bad beat was last night.
I did. I kind of did.
Chiefs won. Chiefs won 29-20 over the Redskins last night. Travis Kelce was living his best life.
Just beautiful. His vernacular.
He is. Yeah, he's beautiful. I'm not being sarcastic. Anyway, more importantly, they scored a garbage time touchdown. And the gamblers, remember mentioning the gamblers with Richard Sherman? That's an important thing. Yeah, there were some people who were not happy with that. Schwachter was good. Schwachter was good.
I'm all in on all defensive touchdowns. I don't care about gambling yet.
If you had the Chiefs and you had the over, you were very, very happy. If you did not, God bless you.
Just in the dark right now. I might as well be deaf.
So sorry.
Anyways.
All right.
Let's move it on.
It's time for the Petty Report. And in honor of Tom Petty, rest in peace, who passed yesterday, it's going to be the Tom Petty Report this week.
I like that.
Sing a Tom Petty song.
'Cause I'm free. Free falling.
Very good.
And I won't back down.
All right. Rest in peace, Tom Petty. Russell Westbrook he is so petty. So Russell Westbrook signed his 5-year, $205 million contract on just a regular day. September 29th, just a regular day.
It was.
To everyone else except for Kevin Durant. Because it was Kevin Durant's birthday.
King Petty.
It's so petty. And honestly, I love Russell Westbrook so much that I can't get mad at him. But there's just no way that this wasn't on purpose. Nobody's buying that.
I don't think it was. I don't think it was on
for a
purpose.
second.
I don't
Oh,
think it was on
really?
purpose. I don't think it was on purpose.
You don't think it was on purpose?
No. Russell Westbrook's above that.
Here's my thing about the NBA. This is my theory. All right. First of all, you're wrong.
Okay.
Although I'm horrible at birthdays, I remember no one's birthday. If it wasn't for Facebook, I'm sorry, none of my friends would ever get happy birthday messages. I remember my siblings' birthdays and my mother's. And that's it.
I know my mom's birthday and I know my dad's is before it. That's pretty much it. But I don't know
like
exactly
it's
what
like
day
the day
it is.
before?
I don't know what day before it. But
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
before
birthdays
it.
are just hard to remember. I've got to remember a lot of stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of
And,
things.
numbers are not my thing. So birthdays are just not, I can't. I
When's
can't
your
with
birthday?
birthdays. January 17th. Michelle Obama, Dwayne Wade.
Really?
It's a very elite birthday. Yes.
I like that. That's not Aquarius, is it? That's right before it.
It's Capricorn.
Okay. Shouts out to all caps.
Yes. Sure. Anyway, the NBA is going to be super, super, super duper, duper, duper petty this year. And I'm so excited. And preseason has started and there's already antics going on. Kyrie Irving's wearing the hat with the weird saying. What was that ridiculous crap on his hat? It was like a 10-page long paragraph about it's not a popularity contest or something.
I know Kyrie Irving was wearing shoes that said for the fearless only. Only underlined.
You know what? This is what I think. So the NFL could be this petty if you could see their faces. But since it's the NBA, and seriously, you get to know the players on such a more intimate level in the NBA. Obviously, there's less guys on the court, but the superstars just get to a whole nother level just internationally, and their personalities get to come out so much more. We only really know outside of the quarterbacks very few superstars. Like J.J. Watt, not a quarterback, but superstar. Travis Kelce, superstar. OBJ, Antonio Brown, like
there's a
Le'Veon
point where
Bell,
we run out of
Ezekiel Elliott.
names.
Yeah, but
though.
like you're going to run out of names
Yes,
much quicker
for
than
sure.
you will for knowing every single starting quarterback. So it's just a different level. It's going to be so petty this year, and I can't wait. Okay, it said popularity. This is what Kyrie Irving's hat said. Popularity contests are not truth contests. Kyrie, just come to me, all right? I will coach you up on exactly how to properly, effectively troll LeBron.
It's just a puzzle. It's just like
It's
all
too
of it's just like
long.
this big puzzle.
It's too long. Listen, if you want to have an effective hat, seriously, follow the Trump motto. Very simple.
Yes.
Don't get too elaborate. Don't get too tricky.
4 words max.
Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom.
So powerful.
That's it.
It'll
be everywhere. All right? Just come to me. I got the model. All right? That's how you're going to do it. I can't wait for it. It's going to be amazing this year. Loser power rankings. Loser power rankings. These are the losers of the week. So every other show, we rank the worst teams. Well, I shouldn't say every other show. Every show we do this. Every show we rank the worst teams, which are basically my favorite losers of the week. This week, I once again have to feature a team that I'm very upset about. That's ruined my life for many, many years. But we'll start with the Giants, who haven't. But the Giants are 0-4.
Yes.
Fun fact, they haven't won since Odell's yacht trip.
Stop.
Yep, Shannon dropped that on me today.
Stop.
Not a whole lot of research needed for that, I guess. But it is a fun fact.
That was a good win, though.
What?
They haven't won since the yacht trip.
Right.
Yeah, it was a good win.
What was the win?
When they won.
Well, the win before the yacht trip?
Yeah.
The one that didn't matter?
Yeah.
Okay.
was a
There's a
good one.
playoff game they played after that they lost.
Yeah, I know.
Now they're 0-4.
Yeah, of course.
So they're really bad. And there's only been one other team in NFL history that's come back from 0-4. You know, last week Odell said that they could still make the playoffs.
Right.
Which was silly then.
That was
but
before.
now that was before they're 0-4.
Yes.
And the 92 Chargers are the only other team to do that, and they're definitely not going to do that because the NFC East is very competitive. So that's not going to happen. And Eli Manning, it's time to replace him. I'm sorry. It's got to go.
With who?
I don't know. It's time to go. They might as well just tank. They might as well just tank the rest of the season and replace Eli. How long do you get to live off those Super Bowls? I just ask Giants fans. Like, this doesn't affect me in any way. I just want to know how long he gets to live off of that. And Ben McAdoo's gone. I mean, come on. Oh, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, he's got to go. But the Super Bowls,
him and the Cheesecake Factory menu,
yes,
got to go.
No eyebrows, got to go.
It's one of my favorite cultural references. Everything about Cheesecake Factory is my favorite cultural reference.
Why?
Because everyone gets it. Like, any joke you make about Cheesecake Factory, everyone gets, and that's special.
I can't argue with you
right?
there, Joy. I really can't.
I was watching this like meme video. You know, it was like all these like actresses and stuff doing like these meme videos now.
Yeah.
So I got sucked into one because I was bored yesterday, and it was like about being 30, like what women say in their 30s. Mm-hmm. It did not apply to me, but she said she was going to wear heels. Her friend asked her out to go to dinner, mm-hmm. and she was like, "Let's go to the Cheesecake Factory." And she's like, "No, I'm going to wear heels. I'll bust my ass." Cheesecake Factory floors are so slippery. Have you ever worn heels in a Cheesecake Factory before? It's almost impossible. You have to like walk along the wall. Mad slippery. Anyway, they got to go. And Eli Manning was on with Francesca the God today, and this is what he said.
You got to play good football. You can't, and we are playing. We're playing pretty good football, but we're not playing great football.
You're right, Eli. You're not playing good or great football. You're playing terrible football.
Everyone wants to put it on the offense. The defense is playing pretty bad. Everyone's like, oh, the defense is so good. They have allowed over 100 yards rushing every game. They have 2 turnovers on the season. Like, you can't win that way.
So the whole team is bad because they're 0-4.
Okay.
So I'm not going to disagree with you. I mean, they have the pieces to have a good defense. Everyone thought they had one of the best defenses in the league coming into the season, and everyone was wrong. Moving along to the Patriots. Patriots are 2-2.
Yes.
I'm going to try and not insert my anger about my number one loser this week into this.
Please.
So I'm trying to focus only on the Patriots, but I'm going to reference back to the Patriots when I get to number one. That being said, speaking of bad defenses, Patriots defense, moi dookie, all right? And I don't know how it happens because it's basically the same defense that they had last year. And Tom Brady is obviously not playing bad. So I don't know what's happening. But I will say, even though they are on pace for the worst total defense, they've given up on average 467 yards per game. Pass defense, 324 yards per game.
So bad.
It's worse than NFL history if they keep this up. I don't think they want that on their resume. But they're still going to win the Super Bowl. So I don't know.
They're not. There's no way they can win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they are. They're going to turn it around. They're going to win the Super Bowl.
There's no way the Patriots, they're giving up 32 points a game, 7.2 yards per play. There's no way. And Tom Brady keeps getting sacked. He's always got sacked 13 times at this point. They can't run the ball. Joy, I understand the Patriots have this allure. Like, it's like they just make it happen all times. Not this year. Tom Brady's 40 years old. He's on the ground too much. Defense can't stop anybody. Matt Patricia and all the frat boys that love him can go somewhere else. Patriots not going to the Super Bowl. Hot take.
That is a hot take because they are going to the Super Bowl because Bill Belichick has a deal with the devil, which apparently is wearing off on the defensive side. So he needs to re-up. He needs to re-up. His soul is gone, so he can't sell that. We got to sacrifice someone else and get back on track with the devil and make this happen. But they are going to win the Super Bowl. I'm sorry.
It's not.
Yes, they are. They are. That's what's going to happen. All right, here's my number one for this week. And it just, you know what? It vexes me that this is the
great
case.
Word.
I'm terribly vexed.
Spell it.
Vexed? Vexed? Vexed?
We'll check that later. I think you're right, though.
Yeah?
Continue.
It's a Gladiator reference. I'm terribly vexed.
Who said that?
Caesar.
Which one was Caesar?
Oh, my God. Anyway. You've completely thrown me off. The Dolphins are 1-3. And they got absolutely demolished this week.
Yes.
And on top of them getting absolutely demolished, what bothers me the most is that this is a year where the Patriots look a little bit vulnerable. Mm-hmm. And Adam Gase tricked us. He's a trickster. And convinced us that he was turning this team around. And they somehow managed to make it to the playoffs last year. And now I feel like they didn't deserve that playoff appearance. And I was conned. And I'm upset about it. And you've got Jay Cutler. So everyone's like deciding to run the Wildcat again, right? The Wildcat's back. It's back.
Yes.
So hot right now, the Wildcat. And Jay Cutler is standing on the field with his hands on his hips. He didn't even pretend like he was going to participate in the play.
No.
He didn't even just let your arms hang. Maybe you're gonna just give a little juke, Nothing. He's just standing there with his arms
knees not bent.
nothing. On his back heels with his hands on his hips, like he's out there sunning his butt. That's a sunning the butt pose.
Listen, that's the same pose he had in the picture. I would say that. I would be okay with him having that body language on the field during a play if it was any quarter other than the first, and if it was any time other than the first 5 minutes of the game. That was just like, what are you doing? What are you focused on?
What he's doing? Okay, here's the reality. This dude retired. All right, so we all should have known that this was going to happen.
It's fair.
And before he retired, he was a terrible loser then and had terrible body language. The Bears couldn't wait to get rid of him. Like, please, just take him. Please.
So many teams have gotten rid of him. I was just thinking about, I was like, oh yeah, he was with the Broncos.
There was a time, yes. He's just not good. And it's not that I had these high expectations for him, but you knew what you were going to get. It's Jay Cutler. And they weren't going to sign Colin Kaepernick. So, but this is Adam Gase's fault. This is Adam Gase's mess. He created it. He convinced us Jay Cutler knew his system. Oh, 2015 is the best year. Oh, QBR. Honestly, it's bad enough they got their asses kicked, but you're really going to stand on the field with your hands on your hips? Just pretend. Just humor us, all right? Just give us a glimpse that you give one single crap about what it is that you're doing.
I hate to say this, but the Miami Dolphins are really bad.
They are really bad.
They're really, really bad.
And they're not going to continue to stay on the loser rankings if they continue to be bad, because the loser rankings are for people who actually have potential, other than the Giants, because I had to give them one more. Okay, I'm going to say this. The Dolphins may be the worst team in the NFL. I know they've won one, but this week... No, you know what? This week, the Chargers. Someone tried me on Twitter with that too.
I'm telling you,
the Giants are not as bad as the Dolphins. Actually, they are, because they're 0-4 and the Dolphins won one. So
I would take the Giants literally 9 times out of 10 against the Dolphins.
Literally, they're worse though.
Yes, the record and all that stuff, but
I don't know. We play for participation points, or
after next week.
You got this W or what?
After next week, the Chargers will have the same record as the Dolphins, and then we'll start talking about who's the worst team in the NFL.
Listen, I'm not defending the Dolphins. They were abysmal. They were awful. And their offense sucks. And that's disappointing. And Jay Ajayi was not really that great either, which is,
You know the second leading rusher on the Dolphins is? Jay Cutler, 13 yards. Let me say that again. The second leading rusher for the Miami Dolphins is Jay Cutler with 13 yards.
Every single year, I allow myself to have just a tiny little drop of belief. Mm-hmm. And every year this happens to me.
Hope is poison.
Hope is poison. You know what? You're right. You're right
poison.
about that.
It's poison. Get away from us, Jay Cutler.
Yes.
Give us Matt Moore.
Give us anything. No, that's not going to happen. So I really they should sign Kaepernick is what they should do. Because Jay Cutler has exhibited, this is just a little sidebar here, but Jay Cutler has exhibited that he doesn't care about what's happening.
At all.
And why should he? He retired and he only came back for the money. And I don't know, have one more year of glory or whatever. But he's not trying. He doesn't care. It doesn't affect his life in any way if the Dolphins are good or not. So if you're a Dolphins fan, which I know there's not, whatever. No one cares about Dolphins fans, but I do.
You and your family.
Right. So if you are, it's a smack in the face. You're standing on if Ezekiel Elliott is going to get crushed for a week straight about not chasing after someone that he's never going to catch anyway.
Right.
Jay Cutler's in an actual play. Mm-hmm. He's the quarterback. He's supposed to be selling that he's involved, and he's standing there with his hands on his hips. So they should sign Kaepernick, but they're not going to do that. There's 0% chance of them doing that for multiple reasons, but mainly because Gase is not going to bail on his plan. It's just what it is.
How do you get Jay Cutler to care about anything?
Don't care.
We got to ask Kristen Cavallaro.
That's legitimately that dude's motto.
He's the face of indifference. I envy him sometimes.
It's the worst. All right. I'm so depressed now. All right, moving right along. It's time for gut data facts. I don't know. Why did you do that?
The deep
Brandon
breath.
does this thing where
Oh,
he
gosh.
he takes this big deep breath, like when we're moving on to a new segment, and he goes, and I'll try to say something, and he's holding his breath.
Yeah. Young
Don't
Deshaun
hold your
Watson
breath.
over
Why
here.
are you holding your breath?
I'm just about to make a big play.
No, because then we have to reset for you to catch your breath because you're holding it.
That's
Anyway,
fair.
it's time for gut data facts.
Yes.
And before we get to your gut data fact, I said a gut data fact earlier, and I was
Ooh.
incorrect about it.
You didn't even title it?
Yeah, so I need to get my gut up.
Let's get that gut
I need to
up.
get my gut up because
Get
it's
that
not
gut
good.
up.
So Ashley has informed me that my nugget about Jason, my brother,
Mm-hmm.
being the only homeschooler in the NFL was incorrect because my main dude, Tim Tebow, was homeschooled, which I should know because I love him. I'm
Both
sorry,
very
Tim.
handsome men.
Forgive me. I'm sorry.
Handsome homeschoolers.
Forgive me if I have sinned, Tim.
That's not, no. Tim is
All right,
not.
what's time for your
I'm
gut
sorry.
data fact? Tim
Okay.
is the closest to God I'm going to get in this lifetime. So it's, that's just, that is an actual
Joy,
fact.
we will save you. Me and Tim
No,
Tebow.
No, leave my soul. All right,
Okay.
what's your gut data fact?
So obviously Sunday Night Football.
Right.
The Colts and the Seahawks played. Some would say it was a blowout. The Seahawks won 46-18.
Right.
But after watching that game, gut data fact, Jacoby Brissett will have a more successful career than Andrew Luck in the NFL. Facts. Gut data facts. Print it. Print it. Let me tell you, Joy.
Okay.
Let me tell you.
I'm listening to you.
Jacoby Brissett, that was his 5th start in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
The first time that he's ever started an away game. And it's in Seattle, 12th man, Legion of Boom.
It's a hard place to play, yes.
He's doing his best impression of Tom Brady. I like what I see of him. Andrew Luck is not going to come back from the surgery. He has too much Tim Tebow in him. He's too tough for his own good. He's too tough for his own good. He's going to injure himself again. Jacoby Brissett is just a quarterback. Long, illustrious, Blake Bortles style career. That was a joke.
I mean,
no.
I stop
seriously,
there.
No, stop. No, he's going to be like a Phillip Rivers.
Blake Bortles. What is it with you and Blake Bortles? Do you know him or something? You love Blake Bortles.
Shouts out to Ball State. I took my 5th year after leaving Notre Dame to Ball State, and we played UCF in the Beef O'Brady's Bowl, and he literally, I couldn't sack him to save my life, so I just so much respect for him. I couldn't sack him. He's so big. He's a big guy. Great quarterback.
I can't. You just threw so much at me. I don't even know where to start. Do I start with the Beef O'Brady's? Like, where do I start with that?
Just answer the gut data fact, Joy.
Okay. I just have to let that wash over me for a second. All right. First of all, if Jacoby Brissett is going to be Blake Bortles, your gut data fact is not correct. All right.
What?
Definitely
Okay,
not.
yeah. Well, yes,
Definitely
okay,
not.
yes.
So let's hope for your sake, for your
Yes.
gut data fact consistency, that he is actually better than Blake Bortles. But
Better Andrew Luck.
there's no chance that's happening. I'm not an Andrew Luck fan. I never have been.
Good.
I think he's been put on an expectation level that he's not going to live up to,
Mm-hmm.
and he's been injured a ton. That's another place that could probably use Kaepernick. But anyway, the point is that's not going to happen. He's not going to get the opportunity. As soon as Andrew Luck is healthy again, they're going back to Andrew Luck. That's it.
To
That's
save their money, they're going to get a lot for Jacoby Brissett. I'll say that.
Sure, fine. But so you're saying he's going to be better in Indy than Andrew Luck, or
In his
just
career,
in general?
in his career NFL, they're going to Matt Castle him. Somebody's going to get duped into getting him. He's going to be okay, but he's still going to be better than Andrew Luck because Andrew Luck is not as good as Jacoby Brissett.
Okay.
Gut data facts.
All right. Well, I guess we have to wait a couple years to find out if this is true. So I can't
Put this
fact
on your
check
calendar,
it.
guys. Brandon Newman said it first.
But I do have I have a few nuggets here.
What's that?
To start disputing you.
Let's do it.
Jacoby Brissett has 2 passing touchdowns total in his 5 career starts.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Luck has thrown 2 touchdowns in a single game 45 times. Luck has never had fewer than 3 passing touchdowns over any 5-game stretch of his career.
Mm-hmm.
So through the 5-game, sample size that we
Right.
have, Andrew Luck is already better. Through 5 games.
Interesting.
Jacoby Brissett also had a
theory.
pick 6 and a fumble returned
Against the Legion
and
of
that
Boom.
Seattle
Good job.
blowout. As most people will call it a
Seattle.
blowout, it actually was.
Those
considered a
weren't
blowout.
all on him.
So before we wrap this up,
Yes.
I just want to say the whole flashes of greatness thing that you're pitching with the Jacoby Brissett nonsense. I'm not interested in it. It was a complete blowout. All right, like, oh, look, he looked like Tom Brady.
No,
So
he
it's like
looked.
it's adorable. All right, It's adorable. If it was a close game that they lost by 1 point in the last couple seconds, fine. I'll give you that. If it was a blowout, and he looked like Tom Brady.
Russell Wilson
Like
did
why?
what he's supposed to do against a bad
Because they're both
defense.
human beings. They look alike.
No, he's the tutelage, Joy.
They play
It's the
the same
tutelage.
position.
It's the tutelage. It's Bill Parcells and Bill Belichick and Tom Brady.
We have one rule on this. Well, we have a few rules actually, but
Yes.
a new rule.
What's that?
We'll call it a new rule. You don't bring up Bill Parcells' name on this show.
Don't bring up.
Yes, in a positive light.
Oh,
One day I'll tell you that story.
yes.
Not now.
Okay, sorry. Broke the rule, guys. We're
Bill
good though.
Parcells. Anyway, good job today, Brandon.
That's generous, but thank you.
It was fun. Good job today. Thank you guys for listening. We appreciate it. I hope you subscribe on whatever platform you listen to podcasts on. We'll be back next week with more fun and buns
And football.
and football. We love you guys, and we'll talk to you next week.
Bye.